Welcome in, people. Day 7, Chicago Bears training camp. Day 2 of pads. We got some bumping and grinding going on for day 2. It got chippy. And it was some chirping. Bunch of Jaquan Brisker. I think Valus Jones might have had to throw a few hands out there. Just a lot going on today. Hey, listen, I know all the podcasts are already doing shows. It's a bad day for the offense. Guess what? It'll be days like that, man. It's gonna be days like that on a regular basis, man. The defense got the better of them. Offense came out flat, and the defense was on top of their games. Here's the other part of the context to it. When you're installing new systems, it's nothing new to the defense because they practice against it every day. They know what kind of concepts you're trying to run, and they know things that you can do to beat it. And so they consistently seeing this same offense with these different concepts trying to get a certain playoff. They kind of know what to look for. And so it looks like to the viewer that, okay, they just really, this offense is really clunky. Nah, man, they're installing new stuff, and so is the defense. The defense is giving them new looks, causing more havoc out there. So, all isn't bad out there, but you expect a defense to come out there and have a good day or two sometimes. And it's not going to be all offense like you would like for it to be. It's going to be a whole lot going on out there, and I loved every second of it. The chippiness. My man Shawn Sierra's in the backstage, y'all. I'm going to bring him out in just a second. The chippiness and the fighting and all that kind of stuff, the tussles going on out there. Trust me. And Shawn will tell you this when he comes into the screen. When you're a football player, the coaches will get upset. They come out there and start yelling at you. But then when they get everything simmered down, they go to the sidelines and they shaking hands and slapping five because that's what they really want. You need a little bit of that from your team. You need to see that energy and you need to see that kind of excitement. So all that being said, fellas, how are you guys doing?
Doing great, man. Lots of good things popping off in camp. I'm excited to hear what Shawn saw. What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, feeling good. Still summertime. Got the skin out, put a shirt on for the show. Looking forward to seeing what's happening and really an update on the guys that went out with injury. That's what I'm more concerned about.
Yeah, I'm with you on that trip. I'm really just concerned about everyone leaving camp healthy because we know that in Bears camp, if offense plays well, Bears win. Defense plays well, Bears win. So, guys are going to have up and down days, and that's what we want to see. Guys stepping up and, playing well on each and every day. So until we gain some consistency.
With that being said, our homeboy, our partner, man, my guy Shawn, man, he went out to Bears camp, I believe it was yesterday. Let me bring Shawn on in here. Shawn, I believe you were out there yesterday, man. You had a pretty good bird's eye view on things that were going on out there. Am I right? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday, gentlemen. Good afternoon. How we doing?
What up, Shawn?
Good. How's it going?
Man, going all right. I can't complain. Yeah, it was yesterday. Beautiful day. It was low 80s. It was a nice little breeze. Man, it was perfect to sit out and watch some Chicago Bears football, let me tell you. And I enjoyed myself thoroughly yesterday.
Well, I've got all these notes and specific questions that I want to ask you. But just on an overall, what was your give me 3 takeaways that's going to really stick with you? I mean, it doesn't have to be an individual guy. It could be something coaches were teaching guys. Anything, man, just 3 things you kind of stuck in your wallet with
you. DJ Moore is the God bless the truth. Not truth. He's the truth.
T-R-R-O-T-R-O.
Rather.
With an F.
F.
Or a PH. Oh, okay. All right.
DJ Moore is the truth. That secondary is some dogs. There's some dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just a little worried, not worried, just slightly concerned. Once there's a little pressure come from the outside on dropbacks. I mean, and Justin was able to step up and just kind of replace where the pressure was coming from. But there was no pressure coming from up the middle. So I was very happy about that. The middle 3, Justin was able to step up because I don't care what kind of quarterback you are. If you that's the place you least want pressures, right in your face. So Yeah, those three. DJ Moore is the truth. Secondary and some dogs, and the front three. And Nate Davis wasn't practicing yesterday. So I think it was Leatherwood that they had out there. So
wow.
those three, two guards in the center, they kept it clean for Justin Fields to step up and go left to right, either way he wanted to go.
Hey, Shawn, in a minute, I want to ask you who those guys were that were getting pressure off the edge. But as far as Leatherwood, I heard Getsy in the presser today saying, and it was really welcoming news to me, that Leatherwood is really settling in at that left guard spot, the backup left guard spot. He kind of said that he's found a home there and he's settling in real good. That's welcome news to me, because I just, a guy that talented, Outland Trophy winner, he's got to be serviceable somewhere, unless there's something going on that we don't know about. And to hear that he's settled in pretty good at left guard makes me feel really good about the totality of that offensive line room. We needed him to settle in somewhere, and it sounds like he's doing it.
Yeah, and we know that's Tevin Jenkins' spot. But again, as I said, the last few months, competition. All right, Tevin, you might be slated as number one now. All right, but Leatherwood's no joke. All right, you don't win the Outland Trophy Award as the best offensive defensive lineman in the country for not being able to play, and then you just don't forget how to play football one year with the Raiders. There's just something going on there. So this dude has a lot of talent, and if he's found a spot, cool. And hopefully he's a swing. He can play either guard. For what I don't know why Nate wasn't there, but let's not forget Tevin still had that back issue. Tevin looked good yesterday. He could be one play away. He could be one play away from getting back in. You know how that's football, man. You're one play away from getting. You don't got to get ready. You always got to be ready, because you're one snap away from getting in the game. So if he's ready to go and raring to go and pushing people behind him, I am extremely happy. And again, as I told you last time you and I talked, man, hats off to Ryan Poles, because he's created competition, and the competition that he's created is a very healthy one. And if for some reason whoever it is in the starters doesn't do very well or gets hurt, man, the person who's second team going to step right in, and the drop off will be minimal to none. So, and that's exactly what you want, especially on that offensive line. You cannot have a weak link on that offensive line when a new guy comes in. He can't be the weak link, because they're going to come with pressure. They're going to come with blitzes. They're going to confuse him, stunts, twists, just to get to that quarterback all over that new guy. And if he's able to pick it up and handle it just like the number one, man, now you're screwed. And now you bought some time for Justin Fields. Well, guess what? Now you just picked your poison and you're about to get burned.
Yeah. Kid, you got any questions from Shawn, what he saw at camp?
You see Nate Davis at all?
No.
He wasn't practicing yesterday, so he wasn't out there. And then I didn't look for him, because what they did for a good portion of it. Have you guys been to Hallis Hall?
No, I haven't.
No.
Okay. So the way that the field the stands were set up yesterday, there's Hallis Hall, then there's one field, and then another one next to it. We're sitting on furthest away from Hallis Hall. So at times they had stuff going on in the field in front of us, and then the offense and defense were on the field furthest away from us, closer to Hallis Hall. So when they were doing one-on-ones, it was tough to see, because then they were doing goal 7-on-7 with in the red zone 7-on-7. So it's kind of tough going back and forth, trying to see that individual drills. So
it's the second game in a row he hasn't. Something's going on.
This is why I'm asking the question. Nobody's really talking very much about it. Everybody's sort of, just excited to see the new guys step up and do their job, which is amazing. At the same time, there's an investment that has been made into this particular player. I'm interested to see, what that investment looks like on the field. I'm kind of surprised that nobody's really seen anything from him over the course of, at the very least, the last couple of weeks.
I wouldn't get too alarmed about it, but go ahead, Sam. You got anything for him?
Yeah, man. So all the concern during this offseason has been about our lack of a pass rush, or where was the pass rush going to come from? What did you see for its as far as what we have right now? Do you still feel like, it's a dire need, or are we serviceable right now?
I think we're serviceable. So one of the things that was going on is they're mixing and matching. So it was 1-0 versus 2D, 2 and 3D. All right, they didn't have 1D versus second string, third string O. So and not all the time, but there was a lot. They did that a lot. Javon Dexter, he could be a monster. He really could up the middle. There was one play they were doing this in individual or one-on-ones. This is when they had an offensive lineman, 2 fields O and D line, 2 fields over, and it was one play I remember. I'm just watching him. I couldn't remember who he was with because I was so amazed at what he did. Takes off, and the dude grabs him. He kind of stops him, but his feet kept going, and it reminded me of, ever see like a cartoon where like everyone piles on a guy, all of a sudden dude's like, and everyone flies off.
Yeah,
dude, that's what Javon Dexter did. Like he got stunned at first, feet kept going, and then boom, gave him like a shoulder. Offensive lineman kind of hopped back a little, and he was in the backfield. I was like, holy jeez. I was like, okay, like, because we really need him to be 1 yard in the backfield. That's it. There's 1 yard in the backfield is all we need him to be. And man, he threw that. I couldn't remember who that guard was, but man, I was impressed. Like, okay. So Javon Dexter was going to get he's going to get better and better and better as the year goes on. But that play yesterday stood out to me, and I was like, oh, because I was sitting with Herb Howard. I was sitting with a lot of the media guys. Herb Howard. I was actually standing next to Brad Biggs, Zach Peterson from Bear Report, and some more of those guys. So it was, man, it was impressive.
Shawn,
play.
Nice.
While I got you on here, I'm sorry, Trip. I know you're ready to go, but I need your help I love listening to Glenn Morgan talk football, man. I need your help because I think he's one of your better football analysts on TV. I don't give a damn what network. I really respect his point of view and the way he breaks down football, the way he evaluates it. It's really respectable to me. I mean, for him to be a reporter, what does he do? Reporters for NBC, or is it
NBC Sports Chicago?
Okay. Yeah, but I just started seeing him recently, and then I saw him on your show. I was just like, oh man, he's really good, man. I'm really impressed by his the way he breaks down football for people that are watching the show now. They will really take to him well because of that. So I'd sure like to get your hand in getting him on here.
Right, I'll holler at him.
Okay. Hey, now by the way, Shawn, man, I heard. Go ahead, Trip, man, because I'm gonna keep going if you.
I know that there's a battle going on in the cornerback position, but I want to circle back to the O-line. Tevin, he's a nasty MFer when he plays, but he just can't seem to stay on the field. And it's nice to hear that Leatherwood is getting reps and looking better. But my question is, with Nate Davis out, has that all been Jatari Carter at right guard? And what's the center rotation looking like?
I think Carter was there on the right guard, and I think Leatherwood was there as well. They think they had them both. They said they have a plethora of linemen right now, just because it's camp and but I think Leatherwood's going to be more. I think they kind of want him to stay on the left side in case Tevin Jenkins can't practice or can't play. And just FYI, Tevin Jenkins is a rather large human being. I stood next to him yesterday, or right close to him yesterday after practice when he was giving autographs to the kids, and that's a large man. That's a large, angry man, dude. And I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't know you were this big, dude. I'm like, all right, I like it. So if he can stay healthy, man, that's going to go a long way for the Bears if he can stay healthy. If he can't, well, again, then there's Alex Leatherwood stepping in, and he's finally going to get his shot if he gets hurt. The center rotation, I don't remember how they were doing it. I do remember a couple of guys, Whitehair, Kramer.
Did Patrick get in?
Patrick, him too. They're all three of them were in, and I wasn't watching them because I was watching some of the other things when they were going through team. So I didn't, it's tough when you're. And then I got there late too. I had some stuff. I got a late start, so I was only there for the last hour ish. little more than an hour I was there. So I didn't get to see the whole practice because then at one point if I was there sooner, I said, all right, I would have watched the defensive line during this segment, so I didn't get a true assessment of them because I had to get there. Unfortunately, I got there late. So I'm trying to get tickets for tomorrow. If anyone knows anyone who has tickets and not going, tell them to hit me up because I'll definitely go again tomorrow. But I'll be there Sunday at Family Fest.
Hell, we trying to get tickets ourselves, man. I think I tagged Samo today. Somebody was giving away some tickets. But hey, man, everything Shawn is saying is tracking as absolutely accurate. Because Shawn, I don't know if you've noticed, but thus far the way Flus has structured this camp, his players, even the young guys, they get reps depending on how well they do with the second and third team. And lately you've seen what's his name, Terrell Smith get reps with the ones. You keep seeing Terrell Lewis get reps with the ones.
Yep.
This is the first time I've heard Javon Dexter got reps at one for playing 3-tech. So what do you think about that?
I like it, dude. I like it a lot. That Billings dude is a monster. So if he's able to occupy two guys and you have Javon Dexter just one-on-one, Charlie, man, it's gonna be fun. I'm telling you, he's a big dude. He's a strong. He's big, and I don't want to say strong. I want to say powerful. All right, he's very explosive, and that was the one thing that people talked about. Remember when they drafted him? Well, he only had like 2 sacks or whatever, and they're like, yeah, but his responsibility, his scheme was different than what the Bears' scheme is. He wasn't asked to do what the Bears were asking him to do. Man, if he lives 1 yard in that backfield, man, he's going to wreak havoc a lot. And from the way he looked yesterday, he can consistently do that. I mean, he's gonna, obviously gonna get different guards with different strengths and weaknesses, and his job is going to be to find out what the strengths of the guards are, and don't play into them, find their weaknesses, and play to those. So as soon as he can get that, a lot of film watching, a lot of practice, he's gonna be a player, man. He's gonna be a player.
Shawn, I don't know if you heard, but they the great thing about playing Dexter at 3-tech, it's a luxury to play him at 3-tech because you have big guys. We just signed that guy Bravion Roy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard about that from the Panthers.
Panthers, yep.
Yeah, when you have the luxury of having bigger guys on the inside, you can free that guy up because you expect both of those guys on tape, Billings and Bravion Roy, are going to command double teams. They're going to. You don't hope they will. They're going to command a double team. You free a guy like Dexter up one-on-one, I don't think there's anybody there going to be able to stop him. So it looks good from what I hear, man. I think if he can play at 3-tech on a regular basis, that's good news for the Bears. But go ahead, kids. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I wasn't saying that. I think you just kind of went. Either way, man. I'm excited to see what we have going on, man. What about Walker? Did you get any chance to take a look at Walker while you were there, Shawn?
No, him I didn't get a chance to, and I thought about it after because in one-on-ones I saw Terrell Lewis got off. He was able to get by the who was it? Was it Wright? I think it was Wright. It was in one-on-one drills. I remember that because I was like, oh snap, that's 52, and I was like, okay, but I didn't get a chance to check out Walker because at that point in one-on-ones they were again across 2 fields away, and then there was the goal line, 7-on-7 goal line over here. And then he was one of the guys, like I said, I just didn't get a chance. What I got to do, what I will do, is like all the media guys, like they had little notepads, like, okay, here's such and such this play, such and such that play. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I usually just go and I usually remember good plays, good play. It's like, oh, okay, I remember that. Like goal line. When they ran goal line, first 3 plays they scored. Looked like a 25 lead first time. Looked like a 23 personnel. They had 3 tight ends in there. Man, off the left side. It wasn't blasting him. I didn't know who the fullback was. But they're in the eye. Lead off to the left, touchdown.
Robert
lead
Burns.
Off to the right. Second play, touchdown. Lead up the middle. Third play, touchdown. Okay. Then all of a sudden the defense stiffened up quick, fast, in a hurry. I think they stopped the next 3 or 4 plays. So it was good seeing. I was very happy that the offense got off and the defense got off as well. They both have their great plays, and that's what you need. I didn't want the offense to dominate the whole day, and I didn't want to see the defense dominate the whole day. They each got their licks in. It was literally like a heavyweight fight where both are getting their landing big blows. So it was, again, fun to watch. And man, if I can get there tomorrow, man, I'm there.
Samuel.
Man, sounds like a good time, man. Hoping I can get down there soon. What I want to talk about is we keep hearing a lot about Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, Greg Stroman, Kyler Gordon, and a little bit of Jalen Johnson as well, man. How good have the cornerbacks looked? It's looking like a position of strength. And what do you think that's going to do to the contract situation for Jalen Johnson?
It's a very good layered question. That secondary they were the strength at the end of the year last year. They got stronger. All right, Tyreek Stevenson is no punk. Terrell Smith is no punk. So you got guys there. All right. The one thing that I really like is that they're both Big Ten cornerbacks. They're physical. All right, they're physical, and they are not averse to getting involved in the run game. All right, they'll shed you and they'll come up and they'll lay some wood on you. What it's doing for the contract situation is this: if Jalen Johnson's got a ball, all right, if he does and they can't come to an agreement, I see Ryan Poles being okay to letting him walk away because I think he's got help. He's got young guys because they're going to play. Tyreek Stevenson's most likely going to start. All right, you're going to get Smith a lot of time just in a rotation as well, and then someone's going to get hurt and nicked up for a week, or hell, he just may play well where like he's forcing himself on the field. One series here, one series there. You know what I mean? He may get force that, and he's going to have time. So at the end of the year, Jalen Johnson is going to say, okay, I want this number, and if it's not close to the Bears, you know, I don't think Ryan Poles will have an issue at all as far as saying, okay, we'll let you walk, and we got two young studs. And now you got two young studs, a young physical cornerback, a safety, and Jaquan Brisker had that beautiful pick yesterday. Oh, was that gorgeous. And then you got ball hawk Eddie Jackson. So I think it's going to really give the Bears a lot of leverage when it comes to negotiating, when it comes to Jalen Johnson. Now, if Jalen Johnson gets a lot more turnovers and he gets some picks and he becomes, you may want to keep him. But then again, how well does Terrell Smith play? How well does Tyreek Stevenson play? Because if they keep ascending at the end of the year, again, you may be able to let Jalen Johnson go because he's asking too much and be comfortable with those two guys.
I was thinking along the lines of what Google user is asking here. Should we trade him before we allow him to walk? If we're confident in those two guys and in those two guys, young guys' development.
That's a good question, dude. Honest to God, I'll throw it back to Shawn there in a second, but I'm just thinking it through. We drafted two CBs this year. Who's to say we don't just draft another one next year, right? Jalen's got a bit of an uphill battle just simply based on the fact that he hasn't traditionally gotten a lot of interceptions. Shawn, what do you think, man?
Yeah, but you got to remember, and let's not make when you shut down one half of the field like Jalen Johnson did. That's a huge.
It's big.
That's a huge feather in your cap. And this is when people say this is where non-football people will come at you with like, well, he doesn't have a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you cut off one half of the field and shut down the opposing team's best receiver, the majority of the time, that alone helps the defense because you understand it's not most likely not going to this guy. So if he does start to have more picks, yeah, he may start asking for more money, right? And that's the measurement they use, but it's more than just numbers only play a certain part of it, because if they don't, he didn't have a lot of picks because they didn't throw a lot his way last year. They had the rookie, let's go over the young guys. We're going to throw his way. See, and he had his struggles. Kyler Gordon, he was inside, then he was outside. He's back inside, so he had his struggles, and they just stayed away from him. Like, why? If you're a coordinator, offensive coordinator, of course we're going to pick on a rookie. So Jalen Johnson didn't have a lot of opportunities last year to do so, but when he did, he showed out. He had a couple of rough games like every cornerback does, but for me, I think if you get a guy who they just refuse to throw to, man, I think that alone, that takes one big receiver, probably their stud receiver, off the board.
Now, before I get to my question for you, Shawn, I got to let everyone know, a shout out to the people in the chat there on YouTube, the Nomad Network, as we are with Nomad live for day 7 of Chicago Bears 23-24 training camp. So like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and the notification button. Now, Shawn, I want to go back to the offensive line and kind of defensive line. Along the question of J2K in the chat was saying that Terrell Lewis has been looking good and beating Wright primarily on the defensive left side, offensive right. Has Terrell Lewis, if you notice, beat anybody else? And other than Lewis, who's been going up against Wright? How's Wright looked?
Wright looked good. Like I said, I didn't remember. I think I think Terrell Lewis got past Wright on in the one-on-ones. He got by him good. He got good pressure. If that was 11 on 11, quarterback would have had to step up. I like that. Terrell Lewis is looking really good. He's looking, again, I'm not putting him in, trust me, I'm not putting him in Canton by any stretch, okay? I'm saying this guy's going to be an upgrade from what we have. This guy is, he's a stud coming out of Alabama. Just injuries slowed him down when he was with the Rams. He looks healthy. He looks hungry. And he's a guy in their rotation. And I asked a lot of times, like, would you rather have one stud pass rusher, or would you rather have two really good ones playing the same position and just rotate them? Would that be, let me ask you, what your thoughts? Would you have one stud pass rusher, or would you like two guys who are really good and you can rotate them?
I prefer the two guys that are really good and rotating, because if you get one guy, he doesn't rotate, and if he goes down, now you got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about that, but you guys were just talking about Darnell Wright. And no, let me take that back. We were talking about corners. We were talking about whether or not Jalen Johnson is he a valuable enough piece on this team to where he could be, trade bait, or is he too valuable to this team so we can't afford to lose him? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys about young rookie. This is not college, man. This is not college, man. These guys are pro route runners, professional route runners. These dudes will leave you standing there. As a matter of fact, Samuel, if you don't mind bringing up that DJ Moore route on Tyreek Stevenson, I'll show you why.
Gotcha.
Because this it's more to it than just, we got a couple of really good talented players. Those guys need to be acclimated. They ain't ready yet for no Jalen Johnson to be getting traded. I don't think so.
Here we go.
You see all that separation? That's respect, because he was in good alignment, good technique on it. But Jalen Johnson can play that route close. In other words, Tyreek Stevenson doesn't know enough as a defender to play that tough. He can double move, triple move, the HE double hockey sticks out of that dude, and there he goes for a touchdown. Jalen Johnson is savvy enough. I like the fact that we brought in two young corners, but these guys need to be acclimated. They need at least a half of a season before you would even consider, in my opinion, trading Jalen Johnson to anybody. I think he's a key piece to what we have, and I don't know if we can develop those two guys fast enough to really keep us a competitive team. So I see Jalen Johnson staying, at least for the time being.
How do you become acclimated, though, if you don't play? How do you gain that experience if you don't get on the field and learn? And that's what I'm saying. And if the contract situation dictates that Jalen's not going to be here, should we allow him to just walk away, or should we gain some asset for him, whether it be another player who can help us this year, or a draft pick, and we can gain another player next year? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying just to trade him just because, but if we're sure that he's not going to be here next year, and we have two young guys who are both going to be here next year and who need to learn, then I say let the young guys play, and then gain whatever asset we can for Jalen, and not just lose Jalen for nothing. That's my point. I don't want to lose him for nothing.
Sam, if he's coming to the table under the right terms, because if you remember the last time he had the presser when he was up there, you seen a different tone and tenor coming from him, man. He sounded completely, I wouldn't call him humbled, but he sounded reasonable, as opposed to, he can get out there and be grandiose about what he thinks he's worth. He's in the upper echelon of DBs and all that kind of stuff, and that's going to get you nothing because he's not there yet. He doesn't have the accolades, but he sounded different when I heard him at the podium. And so if he's coming to the table with the right idea in mind, the right number in mind, I don't see a good reason why they wouldn't sign him.
Bear Truth 9 is saying, or franchise tag him, and so is Walter Besky. I wish I could argue with that. I think he would be a perfect franchise tag candidate moving forward, because reality is this, right? So he has to go through this season, come hell or high water, and produce. If he doesn't produce, it's a negotiation that's a little bit more in the Bears' favor. In that scenario, he may take something closer to, again, a hometown deal. But given what Nomad is saying, this is a guy who, for the most part, will have locked down one side of the field. A lot of the passes are likely not going to go to him. They're probably going to be targeting good old Mr. Stevenson in his rookie season. All that being said, I think they, if they can't come to agreement as opposed to trading him, you slap the tag on him, and you still have the ability to trade him for a high value pick.
Good point.
Yeah, I want to keep him. I want your best guys.
I do too, bro. I do as well.
I want your best guys here because what you got in the we still have cap room. All right. So we're nowhere near getting uncomfortably close to the cap. We got room. You got these guys on contract. Excuse me. You can have them on contracts, and they're very, very team friendly contracts because of where they were drafted. All right. So you got these guys under control for a couple of years. So if you want to give tag him for 1 year, all right. That's the issue. So if no one gets hurt, just hypothetically, and Tyreek Stevenson balls, and so does Jalen Johnson, well, Smith doesn't get any time. Where's he going to go? All right. Do you want to stunt Tyreek Stevenson's growth by rotating him and Smith? I don't know if you want to do that. You're gonna take time away from Jalen Johnson, your best corner, for Smith to get some time. I don't know about that. So you might have to say you may want to give him a couple, tag him next year so Smith gets time this year, gets time next year, and then the following season in 24, 25, 25. Now he could be a starter, and you don't have to worry about franchise tagging Jalen Johnson again. You can let him walk because you've already allowed Smith to develop, and now you got two young guys. 3 or 4 DBs are stud. 4 or 5 year DBs are studs, and 2 years, 3 years in the league. Now you got a nice young secondary.
So I'll add one more comment to that, and it's just with respect to the way that this team is evaluating cornerbacks and the secondary. They're doing a pretty good job in my opinion, and I think they'll continue to do so. So, if Smith doesn't get on the field this year, it's not that big a deal. They can always evaluate and bring in another one if they see the need to do so, considering the potential of Double J leaving. Right. But again, I'm with you, Shawn. I want to keep him. I think the value, there's a lot of value in having a lockdown corner on one side of the field.
And arguing what you just said, though, if we're good evaluators at the cornerback position, which I definitely agree, then why would we hold on to a guy or pay a guy a large lump sum of money when he doesn't make plays on the ball and he's not that thumper coming up in run support? Well, he can't stay healthy. He doesn't play 17 games a year. Let's just be honest, guys. I know we all fall in love with players, guys, but we never face the reality sometimes. Like, if we're good at evaluating a position and we have two young guys, and by all accounts, Terrell Smith has sounded like he's playing better than Tyreek Stevenson right now in training camp. So if we have this guy, we're going to just sit him on the sideline for the entire season, and then just say, hey, or we're going to stunt the growth for the other young guy and tell him, like, hey, you sit down, or we're going to rotate you guys in and out, which I can see that happening and being a possibility. But I'm just saying, if we have this gift right now, I think this is a gift to have these two young guys, young corners, and have three young corners if you count the addition of Kyler Gordon from last year, and not have to pay those guys early on. Just think about the other talent that we can bring in next year. We can sign a stud next year. We can sign an all-world player, a perennial Pro Bowler, or an all-pro that's available next year at a position of need if we didn't have to sign Jalen Johnson to a contract just because he's been a Bear forever, and because he can lock down the other side of the field. But we know that Flus covets turnovers. So that's the way I feel about it.
Shawn, before you answer that, I want to know if anybody, I'm asking you, but anybody tell me, what week is the trading deadline? Because to me, that's when the wheels start turning on some of your options as a GM.
True.
That's when it should be at a time in the season where those young guys have gotten a chance to develop and grow a little bit, getting enough reps, and you're starting to really, really, really see what you have. So to me, that seems like the most sense. You would hold on to them no matter what, at least until the trade deadline.
That makes sense.
So it should be like the last week of. Sorry, I was just going to say trading deadline should be like last week of October, first week November.
A lot of it will
Halloween.
Yeah.
October 31st.
All trading ends for 2023 at 4 p.m. Eastern time on October 31st. So 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock Chicago time on Halloween.
What game would that be? That's probably somewhere in the games. I don't want to say games 6. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's not really enough time for to see what kind of development a corner has. I don't know.
Week 8.
Okay, that's perfect. We got a 17-week season. That's the halfway point.
Yeah.
At that point, the coaches are going to start having an idea of what they really have. And so to me, that's when you start turning wheels there. Go ahead. Shawn.
Yeah. Week 8 against the Chargers.
Yep. At the Chargers, that's October 29th, and then Tuesday would be the trade deadline. So at that point you have half the season.
The questions should be answered by then if everyone stays healthy and Stevenson and Smith are allowed to play, and whatever young guys, and they're just outplaying Jalen, then that kind of answers the question for itself. But as far as going forward, I get that he has been good for us, but it doesn't mean that we can't do better going forward. And so just to get, penciled in, it's like, well, he's been good for us for a few years. We got to keep him. It's like, no. We can throw the dice and throw these young kids in the deep end like we did Gordon last year. It may take some time to acclimate, but going forward, there's no big reason to pay, top-notch cornerback money for Jalen. He may not be asking for top-notch, but, it doesn't just fiscally make sense, even though we got a boatload of money, to just be like, he's been good for us. Throw that at him. Let's keep him.
That's not it, Trip.
No, he's only 24. Jalen's only 24, young. So he's mad young. He's literally stepping into his prime right now at 24 years old.
Do you see any elevation in his game?
He's got a lot of meat on his bone, man. He's got a lot of meat on his bone.
I do.
He's not physical and he doesn't get turnovers. He can cover good. Okay, good. But other people can cover good. So what does he bring to the table?
You're glossing over the fact that he covers well. You're glossing over that fact.
I have time out with that one, because remember, on the other side of the field was Kendall Vildor. So if I'm a quarterback and you got DeVette and Jalen Johnson or Vildor, who's not going to throw at Vildor all the time? Because guess what? He was getting burned and wide receivers were catching them. So that made us like, we ain't even got to throw to that side. We can eat over here all day.
I hear you. However, Kyler Gordon was out there for a while too. It wasn't just Vildor. All right, and then he kind of figured, well, we could put him back in here in the slot. If he performs at that same level, because then by your theory, you're not going to be able to evaluate Jalen Johnson this year because they're going to be throwing at Tyreek Stevenson. So then what are you going to do then?
Well, but Tyreek Stevenson has a history of being a ball hawk and taken away. Now, the point is, if Stevenson starts on the left side and Jalen's on the right, if they throw at Stevenson and he gets a lot of picks, then they start throwing at Jalen, he gets abused. Now it's just it's not something that we're going to be able to answer here. We just got to let it play out.
Shawn, just so you know, Tripp's a tightwad, man. He ain't trying to spend. He's like the black Archie Bunker. He ain't trying to spend no money.
He's not spending it.
Yeah, he'd rather throw him out. Get him out of here. I ain't paying him nothing. Let's bring the next guy in. Here's the problem with that. If this team is going to be as good as I project them to be, and they look really good so far, thus, from my vantage point, really good, I think we can compete. Why would you dare mess with the chemistry of a good player that's helping you compete and getting you to where you want to be? Why would you do that? You're looking down the line and thinking about finances and all that. These dudes want to win, Tripp.
They're not winning the Super Bowl this year.
You know that, though. You know that. Okay.
Well, here's why I say that.
Trips Adamas knows that.
When we look at teams that are competing like in the playoffs last year and playing for the Super Bowl, they have more answers than questions. We have more questions and what ifs than knowns and answers.
Man, Tripp, I am telling you, man.
Here's the one thing that you can, just because you sign him to a long-term deal doesn't mean he has to live it out. You can sign him to 5 years. You can sign him to a 5-year, whatever you want contract. After year 3, you cut him. You can front load that money because after year 3, you're going to know if you like Smith. After year 2 or 3, you're going to know, like, okay, cool. Smith can play. We can let him go. We can cut him and be done.
So that's why I'm worried about it, actually. Like, I kind of wanted to move on from this topic, but what you just said is actually why I'm worried about it. Poles has all the opportunity today to top load a contract for the kid. And, more ammunition is actually on his side, on the side of Poles as a negotiator here, because Jalen hasn't been getting those interceptions, hasn't been named to the Pro Bowl right now. That's all technically in Poles' favor. Yet he's still hesitant to make to do a deal with the kid. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe the kid's hesitant to sign a deal that's been put in front of him. That level of this, I don't know. But again, it's the money's there. The incentive is there. I think you just go do it. And if he doesn't turn up, you cut him down the road and replace him down the road, right? It's just as easy to do given the cap case scenario that we're living in today.
Hey, Tripp, I just want to respond to something he said, man. When you start getting in your head what we're not going to do, you've already slanted your judgment in a direction. And that everything you say after that is going to be based on the idea that you are convinced in your head that this team ain't going to do nothing this year. It's not going to compete. Hell, we don't know what the hell this team is.
When did I say that? I
said you didn't say all of it. You're going too far.
No, I didn't say
said
that.
They're not going to win the Super Bowl is what he said. That's not his expectation. And to be honest with you, Tripp, as a Bears fan, it's good to keep respectable expectations. And I'm not going to say any more than that.
Well, the thing is, I expect us to compete for the division.
I do as well.
But when we go up against a team that is, like I say, has more answers than questions, just say Philadelphia. Philadelphia is solidified in most of their positions. They know who the starters are. They know what they bring to the table. We still have young guys, who've never seen a NFL professional down yet in regular season.
And we almost stumped them with the team last year.
That we are penciling in as, all right, they're going to, start and be difference makers. We don't know that yet.
And we almost stumped them last year.
Grow, and they have to come across adversity. They have to get their asses kicked by playoff teams. They got to, go through those growing pains. We're still growing right now.
And we almost stumped them last year. Just for
Let's
let's
look at it this way, guys. Let's look at it this way. Go ahead, Shawn.
No,
I said,
I was
oh,
just gonna
sorry.
say we just spent a lot of time. I didn't know it was going to ignite a riot right now. I was going to incite a riot by talking about the cornerbacks and what sounds like a good depth position. I know we've been in here 45 minutes and we want to get as much as we can out of Shawn, man. So let's table this conversation for now.
We'll come back to it
and
later.
move on. Yeah.
Go ahead, Shawn. Anything? I mean, because this conversation can keep going round and round, man. Samuel is right. Claypool is. I think the last few days has been getting targeted quite a bit, man. And he's turning up in camp from all my observations. And Braggs is writing really good notes. Shapiro's writing really good notes. I mean, Jason McKee, all these people are unanimous. This dude is getting targeted. He's making big plays out there. What did you see, Shawn?
Same thing. And now he's just gotta show up on Sundays. All right. The thing that we were concerned about, and I was concerned about, like, you gotta get with your people. You gotta practice because it's important that off season, while he was over modeling. Like, all right, I ain't trying to count your money, I ain't trying to tell you how to make money. I'm like, but remember, dancing who brung you in. Football is what got you that modeling contract because you are a football player. All right. It's not, they just didn't grab you because you're any Joe Blow off the street. You're a football player that helped a lot. So I wanted him to do that. I didn't think it was in his best interest just to be over there. And I mean, then the NFL sent him over there, and then I was like, okay, well, let me just see. Because he could be one of those guys. Man, I coached a lot of those guys who, the gamers, we call them, the guys who may not practice well, guys who you're like, come on, man, I need more effort. I need this. Are you screwing up? And all of a sudden, come game time, man, it's a whole nother story. You're like, damn, dude, why don't you do this in practice? Like AI said, man, you're talking about practice. Sometimes he might just be a gamer. And the fact that he's got a legit number one dude over him, taking away double teams, he's never going to see a double team in his life as long as he's in Chicago. As long as DJ Moore is on that field, he will not see a double team. Because if they even think about double teaming, Justin's going to DJ Moore in a one-on-one situation for a big game, possibly 6. So he's got to show out. He understands the contract here. I think he likes it here. Okay, and that's a big part of it. Do you like where you're playing? He likes Justin. They seem to have a really, really good chemistry, camaraderie in that wide receiver room, and that's good, man. And I love it. And it's going to go a long way to him saying, "Hey, you know what? Let me show up and show out." And so far, he has. He's been showing up and showing out. Touchdown yesterday. Justin Fields hit him in the end zone. Beautiful. It was a 10, 15-yard pass. I think they were in the red zone. In traffic. Okay, that's you do that. He didn't have to go up and get it. He didn't have to jump up and get it. I'm waiting for that joker to jump up and get it. 6'4" with like a 36, 38-inch vertical. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. He didn't even have to do that yet. So I'm excited about him. I'm really excited about what he's going to do because he realized the contract year, and so far, man, my man is showing out.
Hey, and he's spicy too, really spicy. That dude is out there competitive, and he's chirping. He's getting in people's face. Him and TJ Edwards got into it a little bit, but that's kind of stuff you want to see. He's competitive, spicy. You like that, man. He's different, man.
Yeah,
a certain kind of attitude.
Hell yeah, especially from a wide receiver that people think is a diva. Right. Yeah, man, you want to see that spiciness, man. You want to see guys, like even what Kelsey did. All right, Kelsey hit that. It wasn't a big deal, but he just kind of hit him in the head or something. You know what I mean? After the dude was kind of trying to knock the ball out after he caught a touchdown pass. That's okay. You want that. You want to get spicy. You want to get fired up. You want to get annoyed. You want to get, edgy. Because you're ready. You're ready to go. You're ready to face some fresh meat. The reason it happens, you're facing the same dudes every day. Every day you're facing the same dudes, and he knows your strengths and he knows your weaknesses. And if he's not very good, he's going to attack your weaknesses and try and make you look bad. These little dust-ups, you ask you said it perfectly, Nomad. Coaches, they'll yell at you, stop it, come on, grow up. We ain't got time for this. They'll go back like, oh yeah, I like this. I like when they're back with each other. I like this. Yeah, we're getting a little feisty. I like it.
Yeah.
And shit, I liked it when I was coaching. You know what I mean? I like it. They're ready to roll. They're hungry. They're focused. Man, it's a great thing when you have those. Because I'll tell you what, the exact opposite. If I have to get guys fired up, then it's a big problem. I'd rather have to reel them back in as opposed to trying to get them fired up.
Hey, Shawn, let me tell you something, man. Hey, fellas, I know we on a hard wrap for this show because we got Samuel's producing and he got to get up out of here. But listen, there is I heard something about somebody said something to, I think it was Braxton Jones in the presser. And they asked him, what does Darnell Wright ask questions about? And he pointed out something. And he mentioned that, how do I set for a 3-eye, that means a 3-tech, I think, on the inside, and a wide 9 stance defensive end. And so he's got a guy inside of him on the outside shoulder of a guard, I believe, and then a wide 9 stance defensive end. When you have rookies asking you questions like that, that is a good thing, because you got to remember, Darnell Wright came from, you can go ahead and load it up, Samo.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, Darnell Wright comes from a spread scheme. So their splits are different in spread offenses, the way he had to make sets. So he's kind of learning everything anew, kind of, with the kind of setup that the Bears have. But you're talking about somebody that's starting to, man, look at it. Let's just show this rep, man, because it's a nice rep right here.
Here we go. Kick.
Wow. He rolled him, man. See how quick those feet are, man. Look at it. He reset. Rolled him back out. Run that one more time, Sam. That was beautiful. Watch how quick his feet are kicking out. One more time. Wow. He's out there. Boom. Pop.
Good kick.
Gets in, reset.
Hands could be better.
Reset.
There you reset. Yep.
Now he's gonna be
come on. Don't get technical on me. I think that was perfect. He had his inside hand. His outside hand was on the inside shoulder. All right.
That reset was nice.
so that defensive end he's got a chance. So if that defensive end tried to spin, he still got his left hand to control. So he hit him with his right hand on the right shoulder. Basically, it came out to the right shoulder of the defensive end. All right. He rolled. All right. He realized he wasn't getting anywhere. The guy tried to come back. I would have liked it if he would have tried to pancake him, but what he did there, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. That right there is a winning rep. If I'm grading, that's a winning rep.
Absolutely.
That go ahead, Sam. You got something to speak to that?
No, I'm just agreeing with Shawn. It was absolutely a winning rep. He mirrored that guy very well and stayed in front of him, kept his punch, resetting his hands, and like Nomad, you pointed out, the footwork is just amazing. So I like when I see stuff like that. I mean, that didn't look like a rookie to me. That looked like a 7-8 year vet to me. And that's what people keep saying about Darnell Wright is, like he doesn't come across like a rookie. He's got skills of a seasoned veteran. And so just throwing him out there, he's going to take a couple of L's now. I just want to be realistic with everybody. He's going to be dealing with a bunch of different skill sets, a bunch of different types of pass rushers. He's going to take a few L's. But once he understands the speed of the game and the different types of athletes that he has to deal with, week in and week out, man, he's going to be stellar. You can see the thumbprints of it right there, and that little rep, man, he's going to be really good, man. But once
he studies film a little more and starts to get an understanding of how they're going to approach him, yeah, it's going to be. I mean, they did a good job, and it wasn't a sexy pick drafting him in the first round, but it was definitely the right pick to get him in the first round because this dude is a monster, athletic, man. I like his mentality, nice humble kid, but his mentality, he's just a grader, like a road grader, like let's do it. And then his feet, this kid we could literally leave him there for the next 10 to 12 years.
Yes. Man, let me tell you guys something, man. Shawn's chemistry with us is so dang on fire, man. The chat is receiving you well, man. They love hearing you talk when you come on here, man. Shawn, I wish I can get you on here every day. If it was my way, you'd be here every day. But that's a whole other conversation, man. I love having you here, and I definitely appreciate you, bro. 100%, man. So
For sure.
I appreciate you guys inviting me, man. You know, good stuff.
Before you go though, any thoughts on anything you heard today? I know there's a lot of talk about what happened today in camp. Have you heard anything
give me a little
you did like?
Because I know you got to word me up. I heard a little, but I had some family stuff going on that I've been dealing with. So
Kyler Gordon off the charts throughout the whole camp, but he really turned it up a notch today.
Oh yeah.
And so did Brisker and the entire defense. It sounds like the defense ate today. They were out there chirping. The offense was not clicking on all cylinders, to say the least. I think Brisker got 2 interceptions. JJ got 1. Gordon got 1. And, they were letting the defense know it. And then we were getting a lot of pressure from the inside, from the outside. But the offense did have some hits, but they weren't able to close the deal in the red zone. So just sounds like –
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying it just sounds like the defense had a day today.
And that's what you want, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you don't want the offense winning every day. All right, you don't want the offense winning every day because then now we got questions about the defense. You don't want the defense winning every day because now you got questions about the offense. Amen. So here's the thing: it's like I said, it's like a prize fight. All right, you got this round, I got that round. You got this, you got round 2, I got round 3. You got round 4, 5, I got round 5, 6, 7. I want it going back and forth because you know the old saying, iron sharpens iron. All right, iron sharpens iron, and these dudes they're in a situation where they're not installing anymore. They are understanding. They're able to understand and make their own adjustments to their scheme. They're comfortable in their schemes, offensively and defensively. All right, now you just got to, and then let's not forget you're running against the same thing all the time. All right, usually the same pass combos you're going to see, route combos, I should say. So you're going to see a lot of the same stuff because they're drilling it, adding a few things here and there. You're installing a few things. But if you want to take a guess, yeah, you know what? You're watching film. You're seeing this smash combo. You're seeing a post corner combo. You see it. Okay, I think it's going to be this time. It's a big help. Now when we go to our first preseason game, the 12th, cool. All right. When we have team practices with Indy, cool. Now we're going to see how are they going to be offensively and defensively when you got fresh meat. You're not playing against the same dude you're playing against for the last month or so. You know what I'm saying? So I am more than actually I'd rather have it offense today, defense tomorrow, offense today, defense. I'd rather have it that way because now it challenges the other one. Because if one keeps winning, it could kind of take the excitement of the just think about it. If you're playing against a guy and you beat him today and he beat you yesterday, you're gonna try and beat him today, and then you got him.
Yep.
Then what's that dude gonna do? Oh shit, I got to get him tomorrow. And then what's that the next day? I got to get him the next day. And they're going back and forth, and every time you're getting better and better and better, and you keep stacking small wins every day or every other day for the offense or every other day for the defense. You keep stacking those wins, man. This whole team gets better, and that's what we want. We don't want a great offense or just a great defense. We want a great team. And if both sides of the ball can help each other get to be a great team, man, watch out. Watch out, because that QB1 is a special son of a gun, man. He's a special son of a gun. And people saw a little bit of it last year. Wait till this year. This year.
Shawn, let me tell you something. And you guys ought not be surprised whatsoever at the balance of who's winning, who's losing in a day.
Yep.
This GM and this coach have done one hell of a job of planting the seeds of competitors in that locker room. That locker room is chock full of competitors. Yes, that's exactly what you want to see. For it to spill over at the level of the quarterback, he wants to get spicy. The leader on the defense wants to get spicy, and it all comes together in a practice or a scrimmage. That's exactly what the hell you want to see. That's exactly what you want to see. They have done their jobs. That coach and that GM, they have the right formula for bringing amongst for the fan base, putting together a winning culture and a winning team. They're not far off. We haven't even started the season, but I'm telling you, this thing has the marks of something great. If it keeps going the way it's going, and they can stay relatively healthy, let me knock on wood, you're going to have something good you're going to be proud of out there this year. I promise you.
Honestly, I just want to double down on what both of you guys are saying. I feel like we may have one of the stronger secondaries in the league, and it's just it's just a fact of the matter that the league don't know yet. I think that's basically where we are. I also think we have a very powerful offense, and I'm super happy to see progress on both sides of the field. That challenge case scenario that Shawn brings up, iron sharpens iron, absolutely 100%. And that's really where we're going to see it, is in that secondary. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of picks. Like, I'll just, for the fans, for the folks in the chat, I think we're going to see a fair amount of picks. We're also going to see a fair amount of touchdowns. If we see both of those things throughout the next couple of weeks, I'm a happy guy.
Let's not forget, man, you got that defense is playing against and practicing against something they didn't have last year. They didn't have a number one receiver last year. They didn't have to go against a full-out stud last year. They have to. They got to be sharp, because any miscue, any question, any thinking the wrong thing, actually, you didn't want to think, any thinking, period, that dude's gone. That dude's behind you. That dude's gone. And if it ain't 6, it's definitely a big play, possibly into the red zone. And you can't afford to live your ass with your back toward your goal line. And the fact that DJ Moore is there and damn it, how many teams are we going to face that have a stud number one receiver? A lot of them. Shit, we're facing in our division. We're facing Justin Jefferson twice. All right, so we're going to have to know what it's like. All right, we're practicing now every day what it's like to go up against the number one receiver in practice. So now little things you can learn, little things you can take away, little things he can say, hey, listen, when I'm doing this, I'm probably going to try this. You know what I mean? You can talk and coach up your defense or give your defense pointers, all right? Because in the end, it's team. It's not offense versus defense. It's the Bears. And if I can help my defense, my DBs, man, of course I'll help them. Yeah, it might screw up my production in practice, but you know what? Opposing teams ain't going to know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about teamwork, and it's all about realizing as you get to practice against that dude and DJ Moore every single day.
Man.
Hey, one real quick question before we get out of here for the day. As far as the receivers go, I've seen Crookshank's name come up, DJ Moore, Tyler Scott, and I understand that Pettis is out for personal reasons or whatever. But also EQ St. Brown, is he even playing? I haven't seen his name at all come up.
Yeah, I didn't recognize. I didn't notice him yesterday. He'll most likely make the team. If he don't, he's going to be like the last cut. They love it. They love the fact that he's a great blocker, and he was a decent catcher till that fourth down when we needed him. But that's another story. Because they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run it down your throat. They're going to run it down your throat. They're going to run it down your throat. And just when you're about to throw up, they're going to run it down your throat some more. And they're going to force you to say, okay, get one more mug in this box. Because when you do,
it's over.
You do,
it's over for you.
Yeah. And that's what Justin Fields is going to go crazy, because the yak, man, yesterday they threw a slant route to DJ Moore. And he was like, beep, beep, I can't stay. I got reservations for 6. And he was gone.
60
I like
yards.
that.
He was gone. And Eddie Jackson might have had him, look like he was kind of reaching and stuff. Like, man, he was gone. I was like, whoa. I ain't never seen that before from a Bear receiver. Get it, split the DBs, and go. Because he caught it between 3 DBs, got around him, outran Eddie Jackson up that left sideline, and everyone was like, what the hell is that? And can we get that in the regular season? Yeah.
Hey,
I don't think we've ever had that, man.
No, I don't think so either.
One last thing before we get out of here, and we definitely got to wrap. Bayless took some snaps in the backfield yesterday, and today he ripped them. I heard he ripped them. A nice long run from the backfield. The versatility that players like that bring to the table, the dynamic that he can add to the fold of your offense, man, the things like that. When you start seeing plays like that, when he's lined up out wide, next thing you know, the back splits out to the wide, and he comes back there. They are, oh, what the F are they doing here? Now what are you gonna do? You got Tyler Scott out there, DJ Moore, You got Claypool. I mean, come on, man. That's the last thing I wanted to say to you, Shawn. Man, he took snaps out of the backfield today. They're going to use him a variety of ways.
Google user laid it down, man, and that's what pops up to me right away is Cordero Patterson. He blew the spelling of the homie's name, but that's what I hope Velus Jones develops into.
Man, let me tell you, he's built. And the great thing about Velus, he's built like a running back. He's bottom heavy. He's got big thighs, big thighs, big ass. People bounce off. I mean, you can't just hit him in them thighs because you can bounce off and he's gonna keep going. That's the great part about him versus like a Darnell Mooney. He's a little more frail. This dude, he reminds me a lot of who's the dude, Deebo Samuel. All right, you can do a lot with him. And here you go, Getsy. You got every type of receiver you want. You even got a gimmick guy if you want. All right, a guy who can. I shouldn't say that. You got a Swiss Army knife. Let me put it that way. I mean, I'll call him a gimmick guy because it sounds like he can only. You got a Swiss Army knife in Velus Jones, and Velus Jones ain't been dropping nothing all camp.
Apparently, you dropped the mic and oppressor.
In jet sweeps, in short crossers. Try and catch that dude when he get the ball in his hands. Good luck with that.
And that's just
nice one, J2K. Just got to give a little shout. That was a nice one, brother.
He's a Velus hater.
I guess
he's
so.
Still not sold on Velus. Yeah. That's all right, J2K. He gonna bring you around.
Cut that out, J2K. hey, listen, this has been a fun show, man. I'm telling you, Shawn, man, it's only a couple people that come on this show on a regular basis that make me sweat. I sweat when I'm talking real football with guys, man. It gets me stirred up, man. My emotions get going. You and her, man. Something about you two MFers, man. Y'all really bring it out of me, man. So I appreciate you for being here. I know my guys do, man. Hey, if you guys got anything to say on the way out the door, go right ahead, kids.
I think we touched on most of it, and I know everybody wants to get out of here. So I'm just gonna say, bear down, chat. Love you guys. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing support. Like, subscribe, get your noties on.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the same here. Shout out to everyone in the chat for rocking with us. You guys been rocking with us throughout training camp on these pop-up shows. Again, Shawn, we appreciate you. Like Nomad said, man, it's always good talking ball with you. You always welcomed. I know that you know that. I know that Nomad's told you that, but we're going to tell you that too, man. We love you and all that you do, man. Giving you your flowers.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
And hey, y'all, don't get it twisted. Now, Nomad is that locker room guy. And in that locker room, I would expect nothing less than attitude of, hey, man, we good. You know, we going to bring it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to compete. No disrespect to that. That's what Flus and Williams had him doing last year when we didn't have as much talent. So I understand the optimism. It's like, yeah, we can go all the way. But we've been burned so many times as longtime Bear fans. It's like, oh, yeah, this is our year. So it's like, pump your brakes. Let's see it before we start feeding into it. Because then if we have a 10-win season and don't make the Super Bowl or playoffs, people will be mad. And it's like, let the team grow. The power polls compels us. Let them develop. Let's not rush it.
Bro, how many people thought Cincinnati was going to get to the Super Bowl 2 years ago?
Bingo.
Good.
And what if they do when they get there?
Hey, no. It doesn't.
Don't
they ran into hey, I hear you. All I'm saying is,
it could happen.
I might.
It could happen.
Perfect scenario. Best case scenario, the Bears could get to the NFC Championship game. But if you get to the NFC Championship game, it's a one-game thing. Someone on the other team can get hurt. One of the guys falls down, on a slant, on a curl. It's a touchdown. There's a whole bunch of things that could get us to that game. All right, but I'm just saying, I'm not putting them there. All I'm saying is, in a perfect situation with a perfect storm, no one thought Cincinnati was going to get there. Nobody. I don't even know if they thought there. If they thought they were going to get there,
I'm going to say one more time. Everybody got to keep realistic expectations. No. I am going to say this. Hold on. Don't worry about me. I got you. Because in this NFC and with our schedule, it's not completely unrealistic to think we might go to the dance.
Who are you gonna do it? Philly?
It's not crazy.
San Fran?
I'm a wait and see. Thank you. We don't even play Philadelphia this year. The only two teams that we really play that might eat our lunch, and those will be the litmus tests for us this year, it's clearly Kansas City and potentially the Chargers as well, just before that trade date is over. So let's see how we do. Let's see how we rock. I think we've got a fantastic season ahead of us. And again, there's no reason why we should lose all of those games. I'm counting 12, just me alone. I think we can go 12. If we can go 12,
well,
I don't see why we can't go a little further than that.
These guys
the sky is
don't
the
have
limit.
this show at all because Trip want to be a wet blanket. I want to throw him a virtual karate chop. Want to be a wet blanket, but Shawn, hey, tell them where your hood is, man. SportsZone Chicago, and what y'all doing over there.
Hey guys, you can check us out at SportsZone Chicago. We got a Facebook channel, Facebook page. We got a YouTube channel. We have a mobile app you can download, and we also have a Roku channel. So if you have a Roku TV in the house, you can download SportsZone Chicago's tile. Actually, we're on right now. It's a replay of this morning's show. It's from 3 to 5, so you can do that. Yes. What's up, Trip? You raising your hand?
What do you do on your app? What happens there?
Just some articles, and you can watch us there as well. A lot of articles. We got a guy who posts a lot of Chicago sports articles, and then when the show, because some people, if you're on the road, if you're in the office, if you're driving, you can just kind of put it on your phone holder and just kind of listen to it that way.
Ah, cool.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks again, Shawn.
My pleasure, guys. Always a good time, man. Talking football with you guys, man. Always a good time.
Hey,
Appreciate it, Shawn.
with that being said, on behalf of the Nomad Network and Nomad Live, all my guys here, Shawn, love you again, man. We really appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for showing up. And tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we won't have the afternoon show tomorrow because there's no practice. We will do the evening show, 8 p.m. Central. Braggs is going to stop by for a few and drop a few notes on us. We're going to give him his flowers for because we use a lot of his information that he tweeted out publicly. But I want to make sure he gets his flowers because he took really good notes and tweeted good information out there. And I want to show him some love tomorrow on the show. So he's going to stop by just for a minute. We'll do that, and then we'll have a show, you guys. So once again, thank you guys. We appreciate you, and we will see you tomorrow night. Love, peace, and hand grease, y'all.
Peace.
Bear down, guys.
Bear down.